come for the analysis of function and anatomy. Don't come for my timing on pausing songs I've never heard. I'm sorry. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Angel-azzarra, and I'm a professional opera singer and voice teacher. And today I'm reacting to a song that has been requested quite a bit. I've listened to this guy a bunch and I love him. It's Dimash Kudaibergen's Love of Tired Swans. So, I mean, y'all know, like, you can go back through my Dimash playlist. I love his voice. I think he's an incredible artist. So yeah, I figured since like I'm kind of getting back into it, I might as well listen to somebody that I absolutely love. So without further ado, let's get started.
Ты прости мне, я сожалею, я люблю тебя, жизнь моя, без тепла, я тобой болею, удержать.
Yeah, the problem with stopping for Dimash when you don't know the song is that he often, because he has great breath control, he'll carry into the next phrase instead of like ending the phrase, breathing, and then starting a new phrase. So it's either like stop in the middle of his swell into the next phrase or stop the first time he breathes in the new phrase. So y'all, I mean, you're aware that like I never managed to stop at a good time. A tragedy. So this is an Igor Krutoy song, and one thing that I have found that's really common for his compositional style is to do these really big show pieces, like big competition pieces. It's not a textural thing or a harmonic thing at all. It's more the way he draws out emotion is similar. Very tender, intimate start, and I assume this song is going to get big. Or maybe the Swans are tired the whole time. I don't know. But that's what I've noticed about Krutoy. I do really like that Dimash, even though he's doing this like intimate moment at the beginning, I appreciate that it's very much on the voice. Usually he does this like very breathy sound at the beginning. Not my favorite effect. Not an unhealthy one. It's really more irritating for me when people sing breathily the whole time, like the ukulele girls. Not a big fan. If he starts off the voice, he always gets on it later. But here, even though it's intimate and pulled back, he's starting on the voice. So, my fave.
Совсем один, ты пойми, без любви ничего не нужно. Не могу жить в разлуке лебеди, подожди, не спеши.
So legato through that phrase. Also, what is going on with like this CGI swan? Like, y'all, I can't. It makes me think of that one Dmitry Vodostovsky music video that was a Krutoy composition where like he's whipping a naked redhead and he's like wearing leather pants. Anyway, sometimes there's just weird things happening in these music videos or music performances. Anyway, super legato. I'm actually going to rewind because I thought that he would put more power into it when he gets a little bit higher up, but he's not. Like he's letting it stay extremely contained. So, I mean, it is a 6 minute and 50 second long video, Maybe he just knows that he needs to maintain for the concert, or maintain throughout the entirety of the song. How far can I rewind? Let's do like 10 seconds. Okay, I'm stopping in the middle, but when he does that, really, really high. Sorry, I keep looking at myself because I'm wearing fake eyelashes and they're like very intense. So I keep looking at my own stupid face instead of the camera. Sorry. So when he's doing that, it's a color affectation. Like, y'all know the drill. His soft palette is being pulled up very high to create that super dark color. And it's just cutting off a lot of resonance into his nasopharynx. That's all. If you want a balanced sound, the soft palate is lifted, but not extremely lifted. If you want a nasal sound, your soft palate is down. An overly nasal sound even. And if you want a super dark sound, it's that egg in the back of the throat. Yeah. I use it when I'm like imitating baritones. He uses it just to add darkness to his natural baritone, and it's beautiful. Obviously, if you're singing with a lot of power, that's not an affectation that you want to do 24/7, but he knows exactly what he's doing it, and it's just like another artistic tool that he has in his toolbox. And again, he breathes over into the next phrase. Y'all, it's never going to happen. Come for the analysis of function and anatomy. Don't come for my timing on pausing songs I've never heard. I'm sorry. So he is doing the off the breath, like intimate introduction, but he's doing it now as he's going into his middle register. He started in a lower register, stayed on the voice. I mean, fair enough, because the breathiness could easily turn into just like vocal fry down there, or the resonance wouldn't be enough to keep the sound supported. But now that he's in his middle register, which he's very comfortable here, he's doing that breathy voice. I mean, it's not that it doesn't sound good. I think my own, like, I have personal issues with exceptionally breathy tones, because for me, it used to be an actual vocal problem. Like, I used to have a lot of air escaping in my middle voice. And so I hear it now and I can't help but be like, oh no, why would you do this? Why? But again, it's not always a dysfunction. It's very often an affectation. And I'm sure it's going to be great. Like, the minute he goes on the voice, we're all going to get goosebumps. That's just how it goes with him. Always breathes in the new phrase. He always carries over. Stop not breathing. I like his belt voice. I do. But I love when his belt has more of an operatic tint to it. Again, personal preference. especially hearing it in non-classical music, because you don't expect it. You expect a belt. You expect like a musical theater or a rock belt, and you don't expect that classical sound. So good. And you know, even when I did hear like a little tiny bit of belt on that top note in this phrase before I paused, it sounded more round than it usually does. Like usually I feel like he uses sort of this mask placement to give him a belt. I wonder if he's just playing around with making his entire belt overall more rounded. Maybe. One thing that I see again and again in Dimash's performances, he makes sure his body is grounded, and he will detract from this engagement by doing squats or like doing some sort of low grounded body position where he'll pull down. You see a lot of young singers reaching up for high notes, you know, that ha ha ha. And it's painful to watch because you're like, oh my God, are they going to make it to that next ladder rung up? Or are they just going to like crash to the ground? It's all about balance. It's partially using your imagination to feel like a slingshot. Like you pull this way and the note ricochets forward. Or, you know, you pull down and the note ricochets out and above. But it also is helpful just because your body is used to having muscular tension at all times. Tension is not always a bad thing. If you get used to muscular tension in places where you don't want it, like say the sternocleidomastoids or any muscles in the neck, really, like they're all constrictors. So if you get used to muscular tension there, one way to get rid of it, instead of just saying, oh, don't be tense, which helps absolutely no one, is to tense something else. Like to take all of that energy that your body's using and like put it to use somewhere else. So getting rid of this tension by not thinking about it and instead focusing just on another large muscle group. And you have to have body coordination to do that. And usually it's enough to distract yourself from creating tension here. I love to do squats or wall sits when I'm singing high notes or long phrases that I psych myself out about or get uncomfortable for. Singing is an ever-changing thing. Dimash is incredible, but he is not a robot. He's not an alien. He's not a unicorn. He's somebody that works. I hate hearing that, honestly. I know that I've like said it before jokingly, but he is a human, of course, that has worked incredibly hard and knows his instrument very, very well. And I think that it's kind of disrespectful to just be like, oh, he's an alien, because I do see the things that he's doing to ensure longevity and to ensure a good performance for his fans. Like, he works. He's incredibly talented, but there is more to it than just talent for him. Like, absolutely. Anyway, let's keep going. But there was his rock belt. We just heard it. After, again, some glorious high notes. Not super operatic high notes, just head voice. Anyway. just listening to that last bit, I wasn't so focused on like what he was doing at the very end of the song, but I was just sort of thinking about the entire course of the song. Starts in his baritone, jumps into his middle voice, pops into his high for a second. He doesn't actually go into whistle. I mean, that one's all full voiced high notes. He's doing a lot of his registral shifts here. From my Dimash like journey or whatever, he's come a long way from the first competition where he sang the French song that I can't remember the name now, because he's going through all of these registral shifts and he looks really comfortable. It just sounds really connected and solid throughout. Like it's almost like you don't even notice the registral shifts because they are so smooth. And that's the goal, right? The goal is never to be like, look how hard I'm working, look how hard this song is. The goal is always just to give people a performance that's honest and that sounds good. You don't want to look like you're working hard. It's always a pleasure to listen to him sing because I have, and again, like go through the Dimash playlist, like I've seen his voice grow. And as I've said before in many videos, watching him perform is not just fun for me to sort of like observe and try and analyze what he's doing, but it's also helpful to me as a performer to see somebody who's really at the peak of his career doing things to manage his voice, because it's really easy to be like, oh my God, they're so perfect. This is not achievable. Obviously, like Dimash's voice is not achievable for a female. Like it's not going to happen. It's just nice to see even these really incredible, like insane range, insane talent voices that are doing things, you know, making sure their apertures are correct, fiddling with their soft palate, making their bodies stay grounded through, you know, crazy belts or crazy high notes. Just seeing that, first of all, I admire it because I know that he understands his own voice. And two, it's just nice to see that he's human, and it's nice to see that he works really hard and that it's not just like, oh, he was born that way, or oh, she was, or whoever was born that way. If you found this video informational or helpful at all, please like and subscribe, and toi 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 until next time.